Hi folks, and welcome back to the plot. You join me with what might be my sacrificial lamb. I have here a little Honey Plus cucumber, which we've nicknamed Steve. He's named Steve after Green Side Up, who said, there is absolutely no way that if you take a cucumber plant into your greenhouse, there is no way that it will survive through this false spring. So, with the help of Harrod Horticultural, I'm hoping to get this through. And what do I mean by that? Well, Harrod Horticultural have been very, very kind, and they've sent me a few little goodies, which are in my second greenhouse at the moment. Do you know how great it sounds to say, in my second greenhouse? Because I have two greenhouses now. I'm a bougie allotment holder. Oh. But here it is. What have we got in here? Well, lots that I'm... Okay, very good. Stay there. Thank you. Lots that I'm hoping is going to give me a little bit of a head start this season. The first thing is two things for this greenhouse, specifically auto vents. Now, not just for the window, but also for the louver, the little side vent. And this little side vent is in need of a bit of TLC, but today I'm hoping to give these a go. I don't have very long today. It's after work, it's getting dark already, so we're gonna see how easy these are. I'll put the models and all the links to everything I'm showing you in the description today. This one is a bit fancy though. This one is the Bayless auto vent. You know, it's not just any auto vent. This one's quite nice. And what's quite cool about Harrod, they have lots of kind of, they've not asked me to say any of this, by the way, but what's quite cool is they have lots of really quite fancy things, you know, quite like things for people who have two greenhouses. If you've got a little bit of cash to splash, Harrod is a very nice place to go. But they do also have lots of more reasonably priced kind of garden essentials for people like you and me. One of which is, ta-da, proper butterfly netting. Now, it might seem a little bit silly to get excited about this, but you can feel the quality. You know, it's one of those. I have for many years been going to Wilkinson's, which is like one of the best gardening shops, isn't it? There's one on most high streets. They have so many amazing bargains. But I tell you what, I'm sorry, Wilco's, your garden netting is crap. It is absolutely terrible. It rips, it tears, things are always getting through it. And I do buy the butterfly netting, okay? What's the bloody point? Honestly. But it still lets the butterflies in. So this stuff, nice, thick. I'm hoping, we'll see, there'll be a bit of a kind of, not like a full review video, but you'll see me putting this up for some of the brassicas at some point, and we can have a bit of a closer look at it. Oh, look at that mesh. That's proper. That's good stuff. And I can't actually remember how many meters there are here, but like I say, we'll have a proper look at this a little bit later. I'm just so excited to finally, maybe, actually be able to brassica-proof my cabbages. Brassica-proof? No, cabbage, butterfly-proof. That's the word I'm looking for. Wow. I'm so excited I can't speak. And the second thing, this is something that I've always kind of scoffed at and always thought wasn't really necessary. I always kind of say, well, I'm on the south coast, it's a little bit of a warmer climate down here, but if I want to get a cucumber through the start of a season in my unheated greenhouse, it would be very difficult to do that without this. Garden fleece. I've actually finally got some garden fleece. I've just put in a dirty bag and made it look all dirty. Gross. But this is pretty heavy duty stuff. So it comes in kind of two sizes. I think there's, I want to say 18 gram and 30 gram. And I think that's gram per square meter or something like that. So it's light. The whole idea behind garden fleece is that it gives a really fine insulating layer that traps the warm air in. My neighbour, one of my neighbours, I don't know what it is that they do, but they just, every time they're here, they're hammering something. How is there something to hammer? Literally every time you're at the plot. I don't know. But the cool thing about garden fleece, although it's light, but it has this kind of really thick mesh that traps the air. And because it's light, that means if it's pushing down on your plants a little bit, it doesn't matter. They've kind of got the strength to push up Mostly, I mean, there's quite a lot here. It does come in a mixture of sizes, but you can't really buy small sizes just if you want a few kind of offcuts for your greenhouse. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting a little bit of this and covering my cucumber. I don't really think I've got any more tender crops in the greenhouse, so it's going to be a very well treated cucumber. But as we move into April as well, this is going to be really, really handy, especially if my chili peppers have to move out into the greenhouse maybe a little sooner than I'd like because I'm running out of space. So I'm over the moon, absolutely over the moon. Let me know your experiences with garden fleece. Do you think it's worth it? Is it something that you use? I mean, this stuff is just, it's so good if you have like a whole bed of maybe slightly tender things, or you just want to get them off to a bit of a better start. Then you can just weigh this down with some bricks. Charles Dowding uses this to great effect. And it's something that's always been missing from my arsenal, I think. So we're going to try and get a little bit better, try and skill up a little bit on the garden, in the garden. So this louver vent, it is functional, it does work, but this is in the new greenhouse and it's just a little bit scary. It makes some scary noises. And I'm not sure if this auto louver vent is going to function. To be honest, the instructions look a little bit scary. I've not looked on YouTube. Last time I did one of these videos, it was for an auto vent, and it was a bit kind of instructional, and it was a bit of a headache, actually. It wasn't that simple. We've not got long today. I am crap at DIY, so we're gonna see how easy this thing is to install. And we have no idea, neither me or Harrod have any idea if this is gonna fit. A lot of these kind of auto vents, both for windows and louver vents, are a bit they're designed to be kind of universal, but they don't work with every design. So if you have a mystery greenhouse like me, I'm like the mystery gardener, mystery seedlings, I don't know what's growing, mystery greenhouse, I don't know where it's come from, mystery crop failures, I don't know why everything is dying. I'm going to rebrand as a mystery gardener. But yes, if you have a bit of a mystery greenhouse, then you're just not certain whether or not this is going to work. So we're going to give it a go. We're going to try and stay calm. Let's give it a go. I'm going to get the instructions out and give you some updates as I go. Place your bets now in the comments. How long do you think this is going to take me? Can I get 3 videos out of this? Like I did building this greenhouse. I think that was 8 videos in the end. Anyway, yes. I'll give you an update soon. I should say as well, Harrod Horticultural were very good about this. I did say, I don't know if this is going to fit, but it might be good to give it a go. Oh, scary. And they were like, yeah, sure, give us a go, let us know. The first instruction, and I think instructions always kind of make a lot more sense when you've got the actual things in front of you. But the first instruction is to remove this little screw here. And there is a Phillips head on this side. We've got a nice little wiggle going on there, that's good, isn't it? I have a feeling this might just disintegrate. Let's give it a go. Oh, it's a miracle. It actually came out, it actually worked. Blimey, look at this. The packet of stuff that you get with it. There is some heavy duty stuff in here. We've got a plate and look at that big boy. This is going far too well. These were just held in with little screws, which is fortunate. I have just dropped some bits and I should really keep hold of all these pieces just in case I have to put it back together. Oh, whoops. So I think this goes on the outside and then this little hooky bit is going to hook into the central mechanism somehow? Question mark? Maybe? Maybe? Should I be using a screwdriver? Almost definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely at the point where I have no idea what is going on. There is a small hole in the back of here that I think this is meant to slip onto, and then there's 2 holes here that I think you're meant to use this channel for, of the greenhouse, and this louver vent that I have has a cover over that. So I might be able to just drill a hole in there, but then I've got to get a bolt in that hole. And this doesn't seem to go on. I don't think... I don't know. Okay, magical. I just bent this out a little bit more with a little screwdriver, and this does now just kind of slot on there. And down here, there are a couple of holes that line up perfectly, which is Sort of good news. Now what we're doing, we've got the little spacer here, and this is on the main lever. And then, this isn't at all fiddly. You've got to get it in there, and then somehow spin spin it. Oh, it's not going in. Then, once you've patiently and delicately got this nice and secure, I think this is your little temperature adjuster. And then that goes in there. And then, in theory, as this screws in, I'm guessing this is the same as the window ones, this mimics the temperature getting warmer. So as it goes up, it should start to open. And you're meant to calibrate this when it's, you know, warm enough that you want to figure out where it's going to open. So I'm just going to leave that in at the kind of lowest setting for now. It's not actually secure at the moment. What I need to do is pop a hole in here, and probably just this one. And that will secure it to the mounting plate, and that'll be enough. There is space for a hole up here as well. I'm going to have to take the whole thing out, put a hole in here. Hopefully I've got one of those cropped bolts that will just slot in, and then I can get it in the right position and get this whole vent back on. Am I going to do that today? I don't know. Yes, let's do it. It's only drilling one hole. How hard could it be? What could go wrong? Oh God. Yeah, that's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Yes, look at that. Very fine. Very safe. Now I know this looks a bit sketchy, but the louver vent, nothing is resting on the glass. I'm just going to pop this little hole in here, and hopefully we can then get a bolt in. How's the top of my head looking? Am I balding? Now we have the very, very difficult task of actually lining all these bolts up without them slipping up and down in these channels. The good news is these crop bolts I bought the other day, just in case I bought them, and they do fit this greenhouse. They don't fit my other greenhouse, so we're kind of lucky there. I'm going to store these in my mouth because I'll probably need them. This is a good job to get someone to help you with, I would say. Oh God, what's that noise? Oh no, one just popped out. Oh, one's stuck. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. You need to go all the way up there. Oh no, it fell. Okay. Oh dear. We got one in, yes. Oh, it fell. I'm going to take a little second to do this. Wish me luck. I've just wrestled this thing back into place, and it is so difficult trying to hold it up and support it. It's going in all sorts of directions, and we do have a major problem. I do not think this is compatible, unfortunately. I drilled the hole in on top of where the mounting plate said it should be, which is this bit. So if you line it all up, it's all off. It's all completely off. This hole does not line up with the gully in my greenhouse, which just simply means there is no space for a bolt that will hold this in place. And you can see those two line up on the screw holes there, but then this won't quite... Will it? Wait a minute, it might. Oh, it might. Let's give it a go. Okay, it does actually line up, but what I'm having to do is customize this to fit my greenhouse by basically making every hole a little bit bigger. You can see just the hole in here, which is just too big for the bolt. It doesn't quite go in, so I'm just going to make this one a little bit bigger now. It's actually going in. It's going in. I tell you what, why buy a puzzle? If you want a problem-solving challenge, why, you could get something like this. Yes. Now, what a journey that was. It feels quite good, actually, when you run up against something like this. It's not quite designed for what you've got, but you can bend it to your will and make it work for you. And I'm just tightening this final one on the actual louver vent, and that's it. It's in. It's actually good because it means this is slightly more secure, because now there's 5 nuts on here. Could maybe have done a 6th one up here, but that just wasn't going to play ball. It is an ever so slight angle, but there's lots of play in this, so I don't think that's going to cause any problems. Oh God, the whole thing fell. I haven't tightened this up with an actual adjustable just yet. Whoops. We have fun here, don't we? I feel like a great thing about companies sending me things is you can see whether or not they're idiot-proof. You know, is an idiot going to be able to install them? If yes, then I think that's a good sign, isn't it? It means if I can do it, then you probably can too. Next up is the auto vent. And I've done one of these before, so I'm hoping this is going to take 5 minutes. It should be quick and easy. It's nice and cold as well out, so I don't need to worry about this having expanded in the greenhouse or anything like that. This one is great because it's got multiple options on the bottom here. So the first thing you do is just offer up the top, and then you can see on the bottom which holes you need to put your brackets in. Mine are just going in the middle setting. And then this one, you kind of open up, and then you've got to be very careful when it's under tension. But there's a little kind of built-in little nod here, and you just kind of line that up, and that's where the little piston then sits. And then you've got a built-in adjuster up here, which is really cool. And once you've done that, you then just turn this clockwise, and that should let it through, and this should start to close, I think, in theory. And then you want it roughly closed depending on the temperature that you're at. Obviously, it's freezing today, so we want this all the way closed, and then we just clamp it onto the window. One thing to make sure is just that you are right smack bang in the middle of the window too. It should hook under, that screws in at the top, or that slots in at the top. And then if I screw both of these, we then just want to make this so it's parallel as a neutral position by adjusting up here. And you just have to make sure that these are in really tight. I'm going to kind of support everything and give it a really good test. Give it a wiggle, try and pull it down, and likewise up here, pull it up and make sure it's properly in. Just like that, it's done. I should have started with that one really, a bit of an easier job. Now there's just one last very important thing to do. It is fully dark now, but the one last thing to do is to just put little Steve to bed. We're gonna get him wrapped in his fleece. As you can see, it's very dark, it's very cold outside, and we're gonna follow the progress of little Steve as the season goes on. Hopefully, I'm now pretty ready for this little kind of start, you know, this cold start to spring. We're gonna get things fleeced, everything can be left in the greenhouse, and it doesn't matter if we have one of those kind of freaky, slightly warm days at the start of the season, because everything is automatically going to open and be a nice temperature. And what I think I'm going to do with this fleece for now is kind of cut a few sizes, I guess, which are roughly kind of the size of one of these big trays, so that as we continue growing, I can just cover a whole tray at once. And that's going to be a little bit much for little Steve, but hopefully that'll keep him warm. There we have it. We're going to wrap Steve up in his cozy little blanket. Is it going to be okay? I don't want it to be too much pressure. I've got this kind of double layered. And look, here he is, all wrapped up. Little Steve. Oh, it might just be a little too much, you know. Gonna try and get the long bits under. It's only tiny. Look at that. I don't want to squash him too much. I need a bit of practice with this one. Right, I'm going to get this done. And for now, I'm going to say thank you ever so much for watching. If you made it this far, all the way to the end, there is a little 10% discount code for Harrod Horticultural in the description below. Thank you ever so much for watching. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time, where we can see if any of this improves my gardening abilities. Oh, perfect. Sort of.